Hello everyone, and welcome back to Inside Games, the only gaming show brave enough to load you up with the hottest tips and tricks for Arcane Studios' Deathloop.
Oh sure, we could sit on these tips. You know, we could hoard them to ourselves, bust them out.
That's what you like doing.
Yeah, when people are at a nice cocktail party, I'm like, did you know? There's ways you can save ammo in Deathloop.
Like,
everyone's
stop talking to me.
No. Yeah. Why are you here? But no, we got to give those tips around. Give you guys the chance to live the life of the quintessential gamer. This is gamers supporting gamers right here. That's what this is.
That's what we do. We're not going to spoil any of the story, give you any of the ass-out solutions to puzzles here. Just give you a variety of thinkables to help you get started playing Deathloop, because this is actually a kind of complicated game. Played about 2 hours of it, and I'm kind of figuring it out, but I don't know exactly. So what would you tell us, Lawrence?
In this game, the time loop exists in a single day because it's been anchored to visionaries, who are just sort of parodies and satire, big magnate characters. To break the loop, or in the cycle, you have to kill every visionary in a single day before the day ends, and they all come back to life because it resets.
It makes a lot of sense. I haven't reached the visionaries yet, but I'm getting there. So how do you kill those visionaries? How do you get there?
We're on tip number 2, but there's so many tips
here.
Okay,
all right. Tip 2.
Blew right past for tip 2. All right. Thinking of them like Mega Man bosses actually makes sense, because there's different stages, and each boss has their own themed layer and stuff like that. So yeah, there are 4 sections of the game. Each one has its own little areas inside of it. And then there are 4 phases of the day.
Okay.
Each phase in each area is almost like a different instance of that area. So different things will happen in there. Characters will move around and do different things during different phases of the day. The goal is to figure out how to basically find a thread through all of those areas at different times of day, or mess with what they're doing in their day to get them to show up in a different spot with other characters that makes it more efficient. It's iterating, it's stealth, it's murder, and it's puzzle solving. It's pretty neat.
There was a lot of stealth, but I generally do not play stealth games stealth. So I go in and shoot guns as soon as I possibly can. But you're right, there are stealth areas you just have to use stealth. And you're kind of always in a rush, because it feels like time is pushing you forward the whole way.
The thing is, I think mechanically, it took me a while to figure out, is that nothing that happens inside of a zone or inside of a particular instance of that zone is on a timer.
Huh.
So if you land in a zone, it's not like something else is going to happen.
It's not like a clock that's ticking down.
Yeah, you don't have to reach X point by 5 minutes or you missed your shot. It's always there. So you can slow down a little bit and explore at your own pace when you're inside of a zone, because you won't be missing out on anything. You can take your time and be slow.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right. That makes sense. So I'm always looking at the lore. As you know, I'm a lore hound.
Big lore hound.
I love to read about, and weirdly enough, I was actually reading the lore in this game because I was like, what is going on? Why am I in this loop?
Going into the lore is important, just not for the story, but also you need to know what people are doing and where they're going.
Right.
And you get that through the lore.
So you were telling me before we shot this that there are trinkets that actually help you move faster while sneaking, which should help me with the stealth stuff.
I mean, it is kind of like immersive sim.
Sure.
So there is a giant world of characters that are moving around and doing their things, and if you're busting around shooting everything, you're going to interrupt what they're doing. And a lot of the game is sort of crouching in the shadows and observing. But when you do find that lore, you can actually open up your quest tracker. You can tag individual bits of information, and it'll put a waypoint in the zone you're in that correlates with that bit. So,
can you give us an example of that? Because I haven't tried that yet.
Let's say that you're trying to find the key code for a door.
Yeah.
Classic immersive sim problem to have.
Yeah.
And then you find a note that says, oh, the code is stored over there in some other building. Now, in any other older game, you might just have to know where that building is and go look in it. But in this game, you can scroll down to that little bit of lore in your thing, tag it, and then it'll put a nice little diamond over the other building where the code is.
And that's in your HUD, in-game, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I know, it's super nice.
That's way better than being go to that one building that's by the ice, and you're like, I don't know where that is.
Ice over there, ice over there.
Yeah.
20 buildings in front of me. That's essentially how it used to go, yeah. So they save you a lot of time that way.
So it's a lot less time poking around maps, which actually I kind of didn't even use. I didn't even use the map because the HUD was so detailed.
It's interesting because they don't require you to do it, but it's also sort of the point of the game is to just explore around and find different stuff. So there's multiple paths, and they're pretty good about marking them. You'll come out, there will be a nice path in front of you, one going up. Definitely look down though.
I noticed this because I would always jump off the cliff a little bit just to check and see if there's anything below, and I would notice that there would be water or ice or other rocks, and there were places to explore down there, and I would find other items.
Yeah, there's lots of side paths, lots of little hidden places that'll give you nice guns, or, and this is pretty cool, you can just kind of stumble upon lore and secrets that will vault you ahead in terms of your understanding. But there are also places that can be way too hard for you in the early game. So if you're just getting paddled, top gamer tip, turn around. It's okay to just leave and come back later.
I did that a lot because, again, my stealth wasn't the greatest at the beginning of this game.
Here's a little top gamer tip for you. We're going off script here.
Okay, all right.
Because, I had that problem too. When you go loud, the AI just swarms you. If you can kill them with a silenced weapon before they shoot, then the next wave of AI won't hear, and they won't keep swarming in. Tool to do that is the Nexus ability. You probably don't have it yet, but you get like magic powers eventually. One is called Nexus, and there was something very similar in Dishonored, though I forget the name. But essentially, you link NPCs together, and what you do to one happens to them all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you're in a doorway and they're all like cramming to get in there, you just fire Nexus at the floor, shotgun or like silent pistol the first one. They all go down. It's quiet as a mouse. You can just find a dark corner to hide in until the alert levels go down.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea. I gotta get that Nexus ability.
One thing about exploration, though, if you're poking around a zone, something to keep in mind. But whenever you enter a zone from the tunnels under the island, you're not always going to come out in the same spot. So sometimes you'll walk out of a tunnel and see something entirely different when you enter a zone. And it can be at a different time of day, too, so that can be a little confusing. Just be aware that, when you enter a level, it may not always be from the exact same spot, but top gamer tip. If you know where all the exits are, you can go back into the tunnels from any exit and end the phase. So you don't have to go back through the one you came out through if you know where they are.
This will all make more sense when you actually play the game, because I kind of understand, but again, I've only played a few hours of it.
Yeah, this is going to be a mix of things that'll make sense before you play the game and things that make sense a couple hours after you start.
Yeah.
It's just good to have rumbling around in the brain.
Lawrence, this is all good advice, but advice does not equal tip. So can you give us the actual real tips here?
Like hip fire, quick, hot gamer tips?
We need the stuff that was on G4's cheat that you write down.
Okay. All right, get your pad out.
Yeah. The first thing that the game gives you is a little sprint, and a little dodge. Where you press down on the left stick, and you kind of like do this thing. Sprint jumps, I had a little trouble with.
Yeah, that can catch you by surprise, especially if you're near some deep water, which I certainly was. So it's a neat system where if you hold the stick in any direction and click it, you'll do a little dash and then start sprinting in that direction. You need a little more runway if you're going to try to do a nice long jump.
Okay, all right, I will get better at that. But combat, I need some tips about the gunplay because I was trying to take out one enemy at a time. Even then, they would scream, and then all of them would come running. So help me out with that a little bit.
Well, the good news is you can kind of just play it like Wolfenstein, because you can get these giant shotguns. Just brap, 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 brap. But you won't see some of the story beats. You may miss out on some information that makes some of the stuff easier for you.
Yeah.
I got some hot tips for you to help you be a little more stealthy.
Please, I need them because I was trying last night and I was having trouble. So
it can be tough. All right, hot tip number 1. Silent kills are totally silent. No matter what, unless you're in the vision cone for somebody else, they won't see you or hear you.
Okay.
Big tip number 2. If you do get seen, or if an enemy sees a body or something like that, as long as they don't shoot or raise an alarm, some of them have radios or they'll run to an alarm or something like that, nobody else will react. It kind of reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 3 a little bit.
Okay. I've never played it.
Oh, okay.
Hence why I'm not great at stealth.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't hurt. It's in the 60s too, but that's kind of that's kind of the ethos is if somebody sees you, you have a tiny window of time to kill them or take them out before it spreads. Here's the real gamer tip right here.
Here's an actual gamer tip.
If you get seen, give them the boot.
Okay.
Give them that big boot.
That is a skill they teach you right off the bat.
Yeah, you get like a Duke Nukem kick.
Yeah, because I forgot you even had it.
It's an instant boot, and you can do it no matter what's in your hand, because it takes a second to switch to the machete and it takes 2 chops with the machete to kill an NPC. But if you give him the boot...
All right, that is something that I am going to actually try tonight, because I read that and I was like, all right, I'm going to give the boot, because I enjoy that.
It's a good one. Also, just in general, kick people. It's funny.
It is funny.
This game has some really good ragdoll. You can boot them all around.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, when you snap their necks and then bounce all around, it's great. It's really
it's
fun.
like classic Arcane. What was that? Dark Messiah of Might and Magic? I'm pretty sure it's almost an intentional throwback to that.
Really? Okay.
All the boots and the floppy ragdoll. It's so good.
Great game. Well, this would not have been a video without Lawrence if there wasn't hacking.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it.
Because you hack in every video game now at this point.
That's true. It's fashionable to hack.
And when they first give you the device, I was like, oh boy.
Call it by its name, Bruce.
Well, I was going to let you reveal it.
Oh, okay. No, you can think it's fun. It's fun to say.
When you first give you the hack-a-majig.
Yeah!
When they first give it to you, I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to sit here and do some mini game for every time I hack something. And that's not at all the case. You just hold it down and look at it.
Yeah, no
really
piping.
Yeah.
Although, Bruce, you just said something. You just said something there.
What did I say?
Hold it down and look at it, please. Please, we don't do that here. We're better gamers than that.
All right, it's okay.
This is actually probably the #1 tip I've got, so get ready for it.
Yep.
You don't have to look at what you're hacking.
I tell you what, I died so many times to trying to hack at something while looking at it, and I read this tip on your script, and I was like, what?
So it's kind of like fishing, but with hacks. You have to make line of sight once and then catch it like doop, boom, you got it on the line. Now you can, as long as you're holding down the button, you'll eventually hack it. So you can crouch behind cover, you can look away. So it makes it pretty fast. And yeah, you don't have to do that weird dance where you're just like staring down the barrel of a turret trying to.
Well, this is a great tip because that's exactly what I was doing. I thought that I was like, all right, I have to like stare at them while they do this, and then the turret or camera will see you. And it'll light up and you're sitting there trying to hack it because it takes a little bit. But apparently you can just duck behind cover while you've got it on the line. So,
oh yeah.
That's great. You feel like you can change your inventory when you have died and you're resetting?
Sort of.
Sometimes. And
Yeah.
then other times you are able to change things. So if you can help me with the inventory management of this.
Sure. Eventually the game unlocks the ability to accumulate a resource called residuum.
Okay, I don't have that yet.
Yeah. It takes a minute, which by the way, also, if you're in the early game and you see all those like glittery, shiny objects.
I kept trying to collect them.
Me too.
Yeah.
You can't do it yet, but
Okay.
you will eventually.
All right,
So,
all right.
top gamer tip: don't worry about the shiny things at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Each item, perk, weapon attachment, all has like a cost, and when you pay that cost, you infuse it with residuum.
All right.
That means it'll stay in your inventory for good.
Oh, okay.
And then you equip yourself in a loadout that has a restricted number of slots and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you enter a level and play the level with that loadout.
Okay, all right. I see. Got it.
So here's how it breaks down. If you drop a gun that you've infused, like let's say you kill a visionary and they drop their special gun and you want to take it and play with it, the gun that you dropped will come back on the next loop because it's infused. You just won't have it for the rest of your run because you dropped it.
Where will it come back?
Into your inventory.
Okay.
If you sacrifice an item, it's basically like selling it. You get residuum back for it. Even if it's infused, it's gone.
That's it, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense. I mean, like, we're dealing with time travel and, you know, other dimensions, things like that. So that's why these things get a little complex. All right, so all of that, again, is advice.
that's true.
Not necessarily a specific tip.
Yeah, just explaining the game.
Yeah.
People came for tips.
All right, so
for the
yes,
strats.
so hit us with a big tip.
Okay, big tip. When you play the tutorial, which you played, it kind of guides you through getting double jump and getting a little SMG.
Yeah.
After you sort of enter the game proper, it sort of skips that tutorial part of your day and just gives you an inventory with a double jump and an SMG in it.
Correct.
And that happens whether or not you infuse double jump or not. So you may be thinking, Bruce,
I am.
if I get the double jump for free every loop,
This is what I'm
why
thinking.
would I ever spend the residuum to infuse it?
I would never do that. It doesn't make any sense because I get it every time.
That's true. But, and here's where the tip comes in. Here's the
Okay.
top gamer tip. If you infuse double jump,
Uh-huh.
you get another one too. You
Right,
get
because it's at the start of your loop, right?
you get a non-infused double jump in addition to the one that you said you wanted to keep. And guess what?
What?
You could sell that one, baby.
So you can sacrifice it for residuum.
Yeah, every loop.
How much residuum is that?
Yeah, I think it takes 5,000 to infuse, and you get like 2,000 when you sell it. I could
Okay.
be wrong about those numbers.
All right.
Let's check the footage. Okay.
It was that. Okay, well, this sounds like something they're probably going to patch out. You may have discovered not an exploit per se.
It's just a little bonus currency to start your round. That's the tip. That's the strat.
That's a good tip.
Get some bonus residuum. It's called an investment. It's an investment in the future. It's free residuum.
It does sound like you're peddling a cryptocurrency to us.
Would you buy it if I were?
I mean,
Did I sell it? You
is
ready
it based on Ether or
Whatever, man. Whatever you need.
is it an NFT that we can buy?
Yeah. You know what? Here, let me. I don't know how to.
Wait, are you buying an NFT right
I'm making
now?
an NFT right now. Where's the MS Paint of Android?
So this is actually what the NFT is right now. That shot of Lawrence holding his phone. That's the.
Here. I'm gonna take that NFT. There we go. All right, you'll find that on the auction house later.
All right. So you talked about the SMG. They drop into your inventory at the beginning of every loop. Can we sacrifice that for residuum?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't sell for anything, which is weird because
This is what I mean.
I think they knew though.
I honestly hope that because Bethesda's going to watch this video, I hope they keep it in the video.
I wondered about that. Some of my top tips might get patched out, which is gonna be embarrassing.
Use it while you can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you lose it all at the end of every loop. So
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we got some big tips and advice.
Hot tips.
On exploration, stealth, economy. But I came here, again, for GeForce cheats that I was writing down and like showing my mom and being like, I can't believe they would tell me these cheats.
Okay. This is the last one. This is the deep one.
Okay.
This is like Eldritch Terror level of the ocean.
Yeah.
Base bottom tip. Turrets have batteries in them.
Okay, right.
That doesn't matter much yet. for most people, but like there are parts in the game where you have to find batteries and then charge them up.
Yes, I had to
and
do that, yes.
hunting around for them can be a pain in the ass until you recognize that every turret has a battery in the bottom of it.
Okay.
Which you can also pull out and use as a grenade.
Okay, all right, I didn't know that either. All right, cool. So turrets have batteries. Batteries are actually kind of generally hard to find, and there are also charge stations around where you pop those little batteries in, and then you usually need them for some sort of objective-based, story something.
Gotta power a door.
Yeah, or you can throw it as a grenade.
Yeah, which if you're trying to use it as an objective, bad idea.
Yeah, well, of course.
But hey, that's how it goes.
That's a really deep tip there, Lawrence. Thank you.
Yeah, go with the flow. That's Lawrence's top tip. Roll with it. Hang in there, baby.
All right, on that note, we actually want to hear from you guys in the comments. Please post your hot gamer tips for Deathloop below. And thank you to Bethesda for sponsoring this video. Deathloop is available now exclusively for consoles on PlayStation 5, and it's on your PC.
And if you enjoyed this video and you're looking for more bravery like it, go to youtube.com/insidegames. We cover a lot of gaming news, do some gameplays, and more stuff like this, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, Bethesda.